don't fucking know, dude. I don't fucking know, dude.
It's showtime!
So I've been linked to this page from Zippo's blog where he says that Persona 4 Arena Ultimax is getting a remaster, and it's been circulating the internet like crazy. Zippo is a leaker who's gotten things right and wrong, so basically, as with any rumor, it's unreliable.
I'm not here to tell you that just because I read this shit online, it's gonna happen. I'm here to discuss the possibility of this becoming real.
Last week, I talked about the upcoming 25th anniversary of Persona. The first announcement is set to happen in September of this year, and it's colored yellow. Now, I still believe it's more likely that they'd release Persona 4 Golden onto consoles, especially since I doubt the PC release was super meaningful in Japan compared to the West. A few of you in the comments actually guessed that it'd be Persona 4 Arena ported with rollback netcode, and funnily enough, I actually have a video written down to make talking about how much Guilty Gear Strive can improve the inevitable Persona 5 Arena by using P4A as a testbed with rollback. Essentially just like how ArcSys put rollback in Accent Core for testing with Strive. I don't think it's far-fetched to see P4A come back, especially since ArcSys has been really busy with a lot of different titles constantly getting updates along with new games they've already announced are still in development. It's possible that on top of being used for testing, it could be that this release is to hold people over next year for ArcSys to finish up their work on DNF Duel. This could give ArcSys enough time to finish up Persona 5 Arena to release in 2023. I know that might sound crazy, but ArcSys has developed Dragon Ball FighterZ, BlazBlue Cross Tag Battle, Granblue Fantasy Versus, and Guilty Gear Strive all within the last 3 to 4 years, with DNF Duel currently in development. With that kind of history, I don't think it's out of the question to think that DNF is planned for release next year, though we don't know that yet, and of course P5A to follow that up the year after.
At the end of the day, this is just me speculating. I don't even believe the blog post if I'm being completely honest with you. I just thought it'd be an interesting talking point.
Let's bring up some real Atlus news for once. Famitsu had an interview with Atlus's senior managing director, Naoto Hiraoka, where he gave some updates in regards to what exactly the company is working on. First of all, the big one in my opinion, Project ReFantasy is progressing slowly, and that they want to deliver it at the right time. Kinda weird hearing this since Hashino, the director on the project, recently said that development had reached its climax. I go over this a bit more in an older one more, but that has me a bit worried in terms of when we'll finally see what this game looks like, and not just a dude eating a bird for 30 minutes. Etrian Odyssey's next stage is still in progress, and Atlus wants to continue working with Vanillaware on more titles. I haven't played anything from them yet except for Dragon's Crown, but I've been really excited to give 13 Sentinels a try based off the insane praise I've been hearing for it, especially from a lot of noteworthy directors. The partnership between Atlus and Vanillaware has been really great, especially these past few years, and I can't wait to see what more they come up with together. While we're still talking about already announced projects, Hiraoka tells us that they'd like to hold more Persona-related events, not just in Japan, but overseas. Bro, I hope this means we get to see concerts pop up here in the West, because I've wanted to go to one of the Japanese concerts for years now. My main concern is, while I know Persona has been getting more popular seemingly every year, I don't know if it's big enough to fill a place up with people for a concert yet.
Would you guys go if there's a show in your area? Or is that not your kind of thing?
As far as Atlus's future titles, well, holy shit, they've got 10 in development right now. Well, that's if you include Vanillaware and other companies they're working with, like ArcSys. About 5 or 6 of the projects seem to be in-house at Atlus. I'm not even gonna try to guess what they could possibly be, but maybe I'll throw a few guesses out there. Devil Survivor 3, a new Devil Summoner, and how about Shin Megami Tensei Cross Final Fantasy?
I'm literally just saying shit, okay? Don't take me seriously.
What do you guys think might be cooking up over at Atlus? Who do you think Atlus might be collabing with? I bet one of them is either Fortnite or Genshin Impact. Please be Square Enix. You'd think the Atlus news would slow down, but it just keeps coming. SMT5 had a massive info dump recently, showing new gameplay, story, characters, and more. I reacted to a few of these trailers on my second channel if you're interested, but I'm trying to avoid showing too much so that Apple can stay spoiler free. For me, the most interesting thing they showed had to do with gameplay, in this case, Magatsuhi skills, which appear to be super skills that can also be used by your opponent, which I'm really glad to hear. I was a bit worried that you could just overpower bosses with them, but let's be real, it's more likely it's going to be the other way around. In terms of new characters, we've got Tsubasa Oribe with black hair, Byakuya Togami with black hair, Twitch streamer Ryuji, female Joker, definitely not Aogami, and holy fuck, it's Cthulhu but hot! Let's go, Doi! 2 new demons have been revealed with beautiful art by Doi, those being Hayataro and Mananangal. You know, as a Filipino myself, I never would have thought I'd see a representation of my mythology in Shin Megami Tensei through this sexy-ass vampire lady. Pretty fucking cool if I'm gonna be real with you, but I'm not the right person to talk about that, so let's see if my mom can break it down for you all.
Hello guys, I'm Pinoy's mom, and I think I'm going to explain something to you all about a manananggal, which I don't know much, but I'll try my best.
You know, I posted an image of this on my Twitter, and people think that she looks very attractive.
A manananggal is like, it's not exactly like a swan, not exactly like a vampire, it's close to it, but manananggal, they will live, they go out at nighttime, they leave their torso, half their body, put it somewhere else so nobody can see it so that they can go back. They can go back to their body as long as you're not gonna pour any salt, ash, or garlic in it. Then they can go back. And they have to go back before the sun will come up. And if they go out at nighttime, they look for a pregnant woman that's sound asleep. They try to open the abdomen and take out the fetus. They will eat the heart, suck the blood, or what they do is they will look for lovers or a couple that love so much, and then they'll do their thing.
Oh,
But
okay.
they like the babies much more than adults because babies are tender. Anyway, guys, according to some of the Filipino news or whatever, they said that there's some manananggal came abroad, either here in the USA or in Canada or somewhere else.
So you're telling me one of these things could break into the house right now, rip me in half, and eat my unborn child?
No, you cannot be ripped off because I have vinegar, salt, and garlic all over the house.
I mean, she's kind of beautiful. I wouldn't mind. She has a long tongue. What'd that tongue do? How do you become a manananggal?
I don't know if this is true, like an ointment or something, and some eggs that you can apply it through the armpits.
What? I could walk on over to Walmart, buy some special manananggal ointment, eggs, and just rub it on my armpits, and I'll become one? Fly away?
Oh, by the way, guys, thank you so much for the reception. I don't mind being in a video with my son. Thank you, and I hope that you will watch this video again and thumbs up.
Yeah, there you go. Like the video. Thank you, Mama.
You guys know I love my Final Fantasy, and FF10 is near the top of my personal favorites.
It's under 13, though.
After recently replaying the first game and finishing the sequel for the first time, I still feel that the cast of 10 along with its story are among some of the best that Final Fantasy has to offer. So you bet your ass when I saw this Famitsu article interviewing the devs at Square celebrating the 20th anniversary and mentioning the possibility of a 10-3, my eyes were wide open. If there's going to be a Final Fantasy X-3, then for the time being, we do have the synopsis Nojima wrote, said Nomura, adding that 2.5 and Will are based on that. It is currently on ice, but the concept itself does exist. If you weren't aware, there was a novel and an audio drama penned by Nojima that were released a while ago, continuing the story. Final Fantasy Union did a really good video covering the development history of 10-3 overall. Toriyama, co-director of FF7 Remake and now main director of future parts, goes on to say, the possibility is not zero. But first, we're not done making Final Fantasy VII Remake, so we're not in a position to talk about that just yet. No way that FF7 Remake is done anytime soon, but it's good to know that after all this time, 10-3 might still be a thing. Wait, isn't Shinra from 10-2 in the museum at Shinra headquarters?
There is no conceivable way that 10-3 ends up being a prequel to FF7, right? Right?
During a recent live stream, supposed king of degenerate lowlifes Yoshi P spoke some fucking truth about Square Enix's typical way of announcing content while also providing an update for Final Fantasy XVI. Personally, I get tired when little tidbits of information are strung out over time.
Wait, this dude really just called out Nomura like that? What the fuck?
I'm grateful certainly that people are waiting and looking forward to the game, said Yoshida, but I believe it's not good to put out something half-cocked and get people all excited. Love this mentality towards FF16. I can't wait for its release, and I'm confident they'll pull this one off. DMC Final Fantasy, here I fucking come, baby. There's also a funny segment where Yoko Taro chimes in about wanting to write the scenario for the game. Bro, could you imagine that? Anyway, Yoshi P ends up confirming that the scenario is complete and the English dubbing is just about done. I can't wait to find out who's playing who. For whatever reason, in recent years, I've enjoyed following English voice actors and seeing their work. Soon after, Yosuke Saito then states, okay, so the scenario's done and the dubbing is nearly done too. That's barely anything, but I bet gaming sites will still make articles out of it.
Wait. Fuck.
So apparently, Square Enix accidentally leaked Neo The World Ends With You 10 days early. And Apple, my editor, managed to yoink a copy for himself.
How's it looking, homie?
Well, it's looking pretty good. I'm here to talk to you about Neo The World Ends With You. Yes, that's right. Lucky you. What's that timer on the bottom left of your screen? Well, that's your free trial period for this review till you have to go watch the full review on my YouTube channel. Now, do you want to keep asking dumb questions? Because we're on the clock. Neo is set 3 years after the first game, which came out all the way back in 2007. It continues on from A New Day, which is the epilogue to the final remix version of that first game. The gameplay in it is a bit spammy at first, but trust me, it gets way better. Same goes for the rest of the game, to be honest. So give it some time before you drop it due to generic anime characters. Also, please play it with Japanese dub unless you somehow enjoy the awful line delivery from the English dub. And yes, the soundtrack is fantastic. If you're big on alternative rock or nu metal, you're gonna love this shit. There are also some...
Zip it, silly bitches! Bird time!
Oh, looks like your time is up. Looks like your only choice now to hear what I wanted to say is to go watch the full video on my YouTube page, which is up right now. Wow, how coincidental is that? I totally didn't cut myself off on purpose, and this is totally not a scam. You don't have to worry about that. Please just go watch the video. I need my views.
Personally, I'm counting the days down till it's released. I enjoyed the original game, but at least on the Switch, the touch controls felt awful. So I'm excited to see how they adapt the pin system in the sequel using console controls. Sega's Judgment series is ending due to being unable to reach an agreement with the talent agency that Takuya Kimura, the face of Judgment's protagonist, is under. Bro, is this the GAC situation again? Apparently Kimura's talent agency is really against PC gaming due to piracy. I can't believe I just read that in 2021. This is such a damn shame, and I hope somehow Sega is able to still work something out, but this is honestly why I don't want to see actors show up in games a lot of the time. Sure, their performances are usually great if they're invested in the project, but it's not worth potentially losing the ability to properly sell or continue your IP down the line. I may not have played anything from RGG Studio yet, but I was looking forward to seeing Yakuza go turn-based while having Judgment take up the action RPG mantle. Unfortunate. The Steam Deck was revealed a little over a week ago, and I managed to snag a pre-order for myself. I'm actually in the first wave. I've told you guys before, my gaming chair is a high-quality porcelain commode. Not the portable kind, come on, I'm not that old. Boasting a 7-inch 800p display in this wide-ass body, it's definitely packed to the brim with power. But I'm gonna leave the analysis to the big brains over at Digital Foundry, who did an incredible job breaking it down, and if it can actually deliver the promise of AAA gaming on the go. From what I understand, it's definitely possible, but it does depend on how much Valve improves Proton's gaming compatibility. Proton is just a thing that reinterprets Windows code to run on Linux, which is what the Steam Deck is using.
This thing is a fucking game changer for me.
As I'm sure you all know, JRPGs are my favorite games to play by a long shot. However, they're long as fuck. so I really get to play through a lot of them in my free time unless they're available on a portable device, which for me has been the Nintendo Switch and 3DS. I love those consoles to death, and the ports of older games has been a blessing for me to catch up on games I may have missed out on growing up. Thing is, there's games like the Trails series, which does exist on the Switch, but doesn't have the start of the series, Trails in the Sky, on the platform. Same goes for the Tales of series, and so on. I own most of these games in my Steam library from sales throughout the years, but I've never had the chance to sit down and enjoy them since my free time is so limited. I also just love the feeling of playing games handheld and away from my PC, as I generally use it for working. I feel more free in that sense. A lot of the time when I'm playing a game on the computer, I feel this constant pressure like I need to work. I cannot wait for this to come out so I can play through my giant Steam library and get through all the RPGs I've been wanting to play for a while. Western titles like The Outer Worlds, and classics like the 3D remake of FF3 and 4 that I never had the chance to play. Who am I kidding? The first game I'm playing on that shit is Final Fantasy 13, baby. Let's fucking go! For the last bit of news, I wanted to bring something up that I've been asking for a long fucking time. Ever since the release of Hearthstone, I've wanted Yu-Gi-Oh to get a digital card game in a similar vein. Every time Yu-Gi-Oh gets a game, it's some awful looking, zero effort game with Comic Sans font. I remember the good old days of Forbidden Memories on the PS1, or the really interesting Falsebound Kingdom on GameCube. Sure, I'd like to see something like that again, but I don't think Konami would ever venture that direction anymore for Yu-Gi-Oh! Thankfully, Konami recently announced a new game, Yu-Gi-Oh! Master Duel, an online digital card game with 3D boards and animations similar to Hearthstone. Sorry, World of Warcraft, but there's a reason I don't give a flying fuck about you or Hearthstone. It's time to play some goddamn Yu-Gi-Oh! Tournaments online or with my Discord. Bro, on God, I'm about to become the world's next Duel Monsters king. Now, if we could just get a new Dungeon Dice Monsters game. As far as myself, I've finished Metroid Samus Returns, so I'm feeling pretty good as far as what to expect for Dread when it releases later this year. I really enjoy the last few boss fights, and the cinematic transition between phases made Samus look like a complete badass. The controls also feel amazing, except for the fact that I was breaking my left hand holding the fucking 3DS. Next up on the backlog for me will be the just released Neo: The World Ends With You, a title I've really been looking forward to, as I said earlier, and hey, if you're interested, go watch Apple's reviewing the game over at his channel. That's all for your video gamer news, everyone. Do you think Persona 4 Arena is getting a remaster? What could the 10 Atlus games possibly be? I really feel like Devil Survivor deserves a new entry in the franchise, and the director seems itching to announce something soon based on the developer interview from last year. I dropped a poll about a week ago asking if any of you would attend an SMT/Persona concert if there was one in your area, and it looks like a whopping 82% of you are trying to pull up and sing some Signs of Love with the boys. Respect. If you're interested, I've got an exclusive podcast available on Patreon at the $5 tier where I talk about upcoming videos, what I've been playing, what I've been watching, as well as discussing a bunch of random topics with you guys. You'll also see previews for new videos before they release, get a behind the scenes look at how they were made, and play with me every Saturday.
With that being said, thank you all for watching this video. Leave a like if you enjoyed, leave a dislike if you didn't. Be sure to check out my second channel for highlights and playthroughs, follow my live stream on Twitch, and check out Apple 2K's review on Neo: The World Ends With You. He worked really hard on it and managed to edit this video as well in just 1 week. Dude is the fucking GOAT. God bless you all, and I will see you next time.
And subscribe.
Yes, please subscribe to my channel. Please, God, you guys know. Listen, you don't understand, man. It's fucking rough out here. People don't know this. I made a bet at the end of the year that if I don't hit 100K subs, I'm gonna stream myself calling myself a loser for an hour. I'm not trying to do that.
Why did you do that?
Well, I thought it'd be funny, and then I thought people would subscribe, but they didn't. I actually lost subscribers when I said that. You guys are dooming me to failure, I'm just telling you. So you're telling me one of these things could break into the house right now, rip me in half, and eat my unborn child.
No.